so damn beautiful. Welcome back to the channel. It is a wonderful day. We have rings. They actually end up coming in a little bit early, but I only get the weekends to work on the tractor. I want to give a big shout out to a company in Ontario, Canada called DSF Imports. They were able to get these somewhere out of the US. I think they're made in the USA as well. And they look good. I'm impressed. So our pistons are the 4-ring pistons, and this package comes perfectly labeled. The top ring is hardened chrome on the outside edge, and they're even labeled where the top is. This also has a taper in it for the top ring. The second and third rings are straight black ring, square cut. I don't know if you can see it. There it is there. There's a little ledge in there because there is a top and bottom to these rings as well. And the oil ring is the ring I was hoping I would get. Just the 2-piece, not that 4-piece style. This little coil inside does come out. That'll go on first, and then the large oil ring will go on over top of it. So I've taken my pistons. I've done a visual on them again, making sure that all the grooves are clean. We have them numbered so we don't mix them up. Hopefully I can get these rings on there without breaking them. They're stiff. They've got some good tension to them. Definitely not like the ones that come off. So without further ado, let's put these together. So this is going to be a lengthy process, for me anyway. So I'm going to fast forward through it. That's the inner ring there. That comes out. That'll be the first one to go on. They're coiled, and you can see it can expand, so you get it on easy. This is going to be the easiest thing to do. I'm not really looking forward to getting these rings on. I really hope I don't break one. It'll be another month to get another set if I break this ring. Anyway, wish me luck. Here we go. That worked out real good. And these springs, these new rings, they got some good tension on those, I tell you. Beautiful. So now we got to go clean these back up again, and we'll put the wrist pins in, get them connected to the connecting rods, and then we'll move on from there. Pistons, connecting rods are now back together. All ready to go. So we clean these up again good. Make sure there's nothing in on the wrist pin. Did a good lube on them when I put them back together. So they're pre-lubed. Now next step is we're going to pull the bearings out, take the caps off. Then I'm going to clean out the cylinders one more time. Then I'm also going to go underneath and just clean off the crank journals one more time as well too, to make sure they're all clean, no bits and pieces or anything on there. Because I did buff the bottom of the engine here where the oil pans are going to seat. So just want to make sure that's all clean. Now one thing also I did off camera, I don't know if you could see it. You look down in here, that's that shiny tan color, that's the side of the cylinder sleeve. So what I did is actually filled this up with water. You can see the water. I filled this block half full of water. You can just see it right there, the shiny part. Because, not that I don't trust myself, but I wanted to make sure there was no leaks of water before I put all this back together to make sure those cylinder sleeves are seated. And there are no drips, so everything looks good. That's another issue that I have that we got to take care of. It's actually the fuel tank. You can see right there, this petcock valve is leaking nonstop. So I always have these pans underneath of it to catch the diesel, but you see it drips, runs all the way down the side and then on the floor. But that's minor details. Get this thing running first. So let's clean that cylinders up. So I got everything cleaned and taken apart here. And on the engine, I've cleaned the cylinders, cleaned the crank journals, and I also put a light coat of oil on the top part of the cylinder sleeve, just so when I press these pistons in, it just got a little bit of lubrication there. So the next thing we need to use is a ring compressor. So what's this going to do? It's going to go over the end of the piston. Then we tighten this up. Use a little 1/4-inch drive, and it'll hold those rings tight against the piston. And then when we set it into the cylinder sleeve, we're able to tap gently down the top here and pop that piston inside there. So now our ends that are at 45, we know they all go to the left-hand side of the tractor. And also, what we have to do is all the rings need to be clocked. So what that is, all the rings, of course, have a gap in them. So we want to make sure that none of these gaps are lined up like that. This is going to be easy. We have 4 rings, 4 gaps. So we're going to do it in quarters. Top one will be one way. The next ring will be complete opposite, 180 of the first. Then the next one will be 90 of the second. And the last ring will be 180 of the third. So we're going to clock a piston and rings, put on the sleeve, and then pop it into the cylinder. So here we are at piston number 1. So now let's drop that into the cylinder, and hopefully I'll tap in right nice. Alright, I just got the soft end of a ball peen hammer. Give it a little tapping. Looks like it came loose a little bit, so I'm going to tighten that back up. There we go. Piston is in. And there is a bunch of crap on the end of this hammer. I'll dust that off. But that's one. I'll carry on with the other three. Perfect. I found on my first piston, I was actually using this thing upside down. I had it on this way just because this is a nice smooth edge. This one had a couple little dings on it, but I realized this band needs to be close to the bottom. What was happening here, as you can see, it opens up, causing that ring to open up a little bit and it wouldn't go down. So there's my tip of the week. When using a piston ring compressor, have the band that's closest to the edge at the bottom. All right. Now, this next part is something that would be awesome if I had a second person. So, there's the journals and the crank. There's the connecting rod. You can see the piston up there coming down. They're all at top center, like all at the top of the cylinders. Somehow, I have to get a hold of that piston or connecting rod and pull it down onto the journal and get the bearing back in there as well too, without getting any dirt in it. And it would be awesome if I had someone up top with the rubber mallet tapping those down. I'm gonna give this a go by myself. If I can't do it, I'm gonna have to somehow maybe trick the wife coming in to help me work on a tractor. She doesn't mind getting dirty, but it's minus 20 something outside today and snowing, and that is going to be the hard part to get her out. But anyway, I'm going to see what I can do here. Hopefully it goes smooth. Maybe it'll pull right down and it'll be okay. You know what? I think they're going to slide down. I think this will work. So I got to get a bearing up in there, get a little lube on it, make sure it's going the right way. They are notched. Where are we at here? There the bearings are. They got a notch on them. So make sure they're going in the right way. Get some lube on that. Get it in place and see if we can get that pulled down. Oh, look at that. Holy crap. That went in good. Bearings in the notch. Oh yeah, baby. I think we got her. Let's get the other half of this cap cleaned and put it in too. hopefully, hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. I think everything is in order. My biggest fear after you put out a video and everything's done back together, you get that one comment that says, oh hey, guess what you forgot to do? Not good. Not good at all. Anyway, there we go. That's one. I'm not going to video the rest. It's kind of a pain in the ass working under here with this camera in the way. Though the light is good, but I'm going to have to get a trouble light. So I'm going to carry on with the other three. And I'll come back when it's finished. And there we are. All the caps are on. Bearings are all seated nice. Got lots of lube in there for the first startup. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give one more little rub, one more little cleaning on the lobes of the camshaft. Clean them up a little bit. And then I'm going to get the torque wrench out, torque these down, put the oil pump suction filter back on. Then it's time to get this oil pan on. She's coming along good. It's nice to see progress finally. So we got all our connecting rod caps torqued down. The manual said they were 95 to 105 pounds. So I did them at 40, 80, and then to 100. So they're all on there good. Got the oil pan cleaned up. And the suction filter cleaned. I don't know if these are supposed to come apart, but they actually come apart really good. These little tabs just barely bend the edge and they pop right off. I was able to clean out all the crap that was inside here. And really the only thing that was inside this filter is the flash or the little bit of coating that's on the inside of the cast of the engine. That was all that was in here. So there's no chunks of metal, so that's good. So we'll put the filter on, find all the bolts for this oil pan. It's actually a two-piece. There's another part that goes with this, a big cast bracket. And we'll get that put on. Oil pan is on. It's quite a puzzle putting that thing together. This bracket here that this is attached to, this is a pain in the butt to put on. I did use RTV silicone, and of course it's good to slide it around, but it's on a 90-degree angle, so you have to slide the top and the bottom. So I kind of just wiggle it around a little bit to try to get it to seat in there well. Did get that broken bolt out that was there. Got a new one in. This bracket, where are we at here? Where's my finger? There you go. This bracket here, which actually hooks the front suspension. It pivots on this point here. That was a little bit difficult to get in because it's going through the 90-degree L bracket and through the transmission case. And this has been, I don't know, modified or made, or maybe they ripped it off at some point. But it definitely isn't straight or square. So I did have to do a little banging on that to get it to fit. And I cleaned up the thread holes a little bit. I think it should be good. And that's her back together. So next week, the heads are going back on. Unfortunately, I'm done for today. I've run out of time. And I do want to get some gasket tack, the spray-on gasket maker, just to seal it up really good. Now, I'm going to take the chance. I'm going to reuse the head gaskets again. I don't want to put the money out on them, and also they're hard to get. Now, the engine was only together for about, a week? Maybe, I don't even think it was 2 weeks. And when I took them apart, took the heads off, not one spot on the gasket peeled off at all. Nothing was stuck to the steel, so I do feel confident that they're okay to use again. But I will put a little gasket tack on there just to make sure it's got a better seal. Anyway, I'm super happy. Rings are in. Pan's on. No drips of water coming up the bottom as of yet anyway. So hopefully we're doing good. So again, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up, a like, maybe subscribe if you're a new person coming by. And I'll see you again next week.